I'm thrilled to have here in person one of my favorite guys that I've gotten a chance to meet as the host of the NFL Network since its inception. This man's football life is unparalleled, unrivaled, two-time NFL head coach of the year, and also a recent retiree, Bruce Arians, here on the program. Good to see you, sir.
Rich, it's always great to be seen, brother.
Right? To be seen rather than viewed. Is that the way?
Amen.
Is that the phrase?
Amen. Yes, indeed.
Let's get right into it. What did you think of that national championship game last night?
Oh, my gosh. I thought it was great. There shouldn't have been a loser. You know, that's one of those games you just feel bad for the team that came out on the short end because there was no loser. And just great coaching on both sides.
Well, what did you think of Saban's decision to put that kid in at halftime? Obviously, it worked out, but what do you think went into that, Bruce?
I mean, you're sitting there at halftime, and you can't make first downs. You got to make something happen. And they knew they had the kid ready to go. And to me, it was a great decision. Was there a lot of risk to it? But, you know, no risk, get no biscuit. So you got to go with him. At that point in time, you got to go with him.
Well, it seemed to me also that play call to win the game, that seemed like something that you'd appreciate when you're talking about shoving it down the field like that with that kid.
Because you probably know what you're going to get.
What do you mean?
A safe coverage. You know, you just got the big sack. Now let's play safe and don't give up anything big. And you play cover too. And he, for a freshman to look that safety off, and that's a vet safety, is amazing, and then make that throw.
Just throw that dart, right? And also just the fact, though, that the kid who caught it was a freshman, too. Do you think there were a bunch – and Harris, the freshman running back, was put out there in the fourth quarter. Do you think that was born out of the fact that maybe Tua knew these kids better than the first stringers in a way?
Well, I think some of it's just opportunity. Who's up next? Obviously, there's a ton of talent at University of Alabama. And it really was a flashback game for me.
Why so?
Because of Coach Bryant. That's what Coach Bryant – we played three quarterbacks in every game. And you never knew why he was putting them in. He substituted 66 players in a game. He did, personally, because no assistant coach ever sent anybody across that line. All right? That was the fastest way to lose your job, is to substitute somebody. And – he just had that gut feel, and I think Nick had that same thing last night with those young kids.
Well, let's get into that. Bruce Arians here and a coaching conversation on the Rich Eisen Show, brought to you by Man vs. Food. How did you get hooked up with Bear Bryant? Because you're a Virginia Tech guy, right?
My last head coach at 3 was Jimmy Sharp, and he was Coach Bryant's offensive coordinator for 10 years. And Jimmy is basically the man that got me into coaching. I pretty much owe everything to him. I started at Virginia Tech. He went to Mississippi State, called me, put the kid in the car, get a U-Haul and bring your stuff down to Mississippi State. And that led to an opening at Alabama a few years later. We had beaten Alabama at Mississippi State that year for the first time in 45 years.
Okay, so that helped, maybe?
That helped. And Emory Blard, who was a genius, Emory invented the wishbone. I was at State with him when he invented the wing bone, and it was a version of it. We had a great receiver named Marty McDowell. It was really amazing watching Coach Ballard put that offense together. And an opportunity came at Alabama, and Coach Bryant hired me.
All right. And what's it like being wet behind the ears in a way, as you were, with Bear Bryant being the one to tell you what's what? What was that like?
Well,
Bruce?
yeah, I thought I knew everything, you know. I was that young coach, cocky coach on the staff. He just loved to rip my ass. I mean, every day. We'd play the game. You know, how the offensive line play, how the quarterbacks play, how the running backs play. And I'd give him my report. And, did you even watch the film? I mean, this went on for like 5 weeks. And I'd go into his office and, how you want him graded, Coach? Oh, you're doing fine. And it was just a test to see if I was going to keep coming back until he just said, you're good, and it never happened again.
What do you think, Bruce Arians here on the Rich Eisen Show, what do you think he would think of the conversation? Is Nick Saban a greater coach or a more, I guess, legendary coach on the campus of Alabama than Bear Bryant? What do you think of that conversation?
As humble as Coach Bryant was, I don't think he'd get in the conversation. He would let that to us, you know, to everybody else. I know there's a generations of players from the 60s and 70s that are going to argue like hell that Coach Bryant's the best. and the young guys have a right to say Nick's the best.
Mm-hmm. And just one last one on this. When you look back at that game last night, do you think Nick Saban is the best at his profession at that level, Bruce?
He has the record to prove it. I think there are a lot of great coaches stuck at schools that can't recruit like Alabama. To say he's the greatest coach, he's got the record to prove it.
Mm-hmm. So now let's talk about your decision to retire. When did you make that decision?
We had talked about it as a family, the weekend after our Thursday night game this year. And
against Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay.
And which was one of those gut wrenchers that we should have won and didn't. But it really had nothing to do with it. It was time from my wife. She was done. And God bless her, 47 years in this business is enough, And so it was kind of easy. But when that kick missed in Seattle, when ours went through the last game of the season,
yes,
and theirs missed,
I
just got a real calming feeling that I made the right decision, and that was kind of the defining moment.
No kidding. So walking off with the win, as you did up in Seattle, that put it to bed more? Because I would think that the coach in you might be like, well, okay, we were able to do this without Carson, without David Johnson at the end of the season.
The job our coaching staff did the last 7 games with all those injuries was just amazing. And the players, most players tank it. When you're out of the playoffs and you got nothing to play for, they'll play hard to see if we can win. When we can't, they tank it.
Right.
That's just natural in the league, but our guys, they played their tails off, and it's a credit to the coaching staff.
So when you said that your wife was done, walk me and the listeners and viewers through what was she done with, and what were
the stress of being a coach's wife, of watching my health go up and down, with wins and losses, and I knew I was done too. That when we had that conversation, it says, yeah, you're right. There's too much to live for, to die on the sideline, and there's nothing really else to do other than win a championship. And I think the Cardinals can win the championship. The talent is there. Steve Keim will do whatever he needs to do to finish off this roster, and they'll hire the right guy. So it was easy for me to step out and just agree with her for the first time in a long time.
Well, not to get too deep into your HIPAA report here, but was there really a concern that you would have a fatal moment on the sideline, Bruce?
If you ever check my blood pressure during the game, one doctor tried to do that years ago, and he just said, I don't want to ever see these numbers again.
Are you serious?
Because I get a little hyped up, especially with guys in striped shirts. And if it weren't for them, it would be an easy game.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was last year's scares were eye-opening for me, when I had cancer again. And to beat it, didn't like the way the season ended last year. Didn't have this one torn apart with injuries. But you just know when it's time.
Do you think Carson stepped away because you did?
No. I think he knew it was time for him to.
Because that was the conversation last year, is that you, him, and Larry all got together and had sort of if I may say so, like a LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh sort of conversation, saying where the three of us were attached to the hip.
It was all individual. It really was.
It really was.
Mine was, I wasn't going to let cancer win. A lot of it was that last year, coming back. And this year it was like, it's time. It's time to go. Let's go try something else.
Okay. So do you think Larry is coming back?
I think Larry will with the right situation.
What is the right situation?
The right coach, the right offense for him. And a lot of those decisions, they're going to be really hard decisions. But I know Michael and Steve will make the best decision for the Cardinals.
What do you think the decision for the Cardinals should be?
Oh, I would love to see James Betcher get the job. I'd like to see it carry over.
Your defensive coordinator.
Yeah, just the way the guys played at the end of the season for him and for all of us. But I'm selfish. I want to be able to go back, and be a part of it in a small way. So yeah, I would, and I think he's more than qualified, not just for the Cardinals job. I think he's ready to be a head coach anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And one last question for you on this subject. What's next for you?
Well, I'm delving into looking at broadcasting and see if there is a spot. If someone thinks I can handle that job, I think it would be very exciting to start a new career.
Okay.
Being on the other side, the dark side,
Dark side. No. It's this. This is the Force. You're coming to the Jedi. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So you understand?
Now that I'm with you, I feel it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's a spoiler alert. I don't know if you're into the Star Wars movies or not. Are you, Bruce?
Okay. A little bit.
All right. But I don't mean to spoil it for you. But at one point, Darth Vader does go back to the light. Okay. Just throwing it out there.
I can't breathe that heavily.
Well, so let me do this. I'd like to take a break, come back. If you don't mind, I'm going to throw you, if you want to be part of the paparazzi, I'll ask you some questions about what we're talking about in the media and see what your 2 cents are on this.
Sounds
subject.
good.
Okay?
You bet.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. I like that. Bruce Arians, if you don't risk it, no biscuit?
No
right?
biscuit. No risk it, no biscuit.
Okay, very good.
I like that.
We'll do that. By the way, Man vs. Food again is on Travel Channel every single Monday night at 9 Eastern Time with our friend Casey Webb. This is definitely not what you're going to do in your retirement, Bruce, that's for sure, which is eat a giant pulled pork sandwich slathered in hot scorpion red sauce in 10 minutes.
No.
Okay. A 78-ounce ribeye and 2 pounds of mashed potatoes in an hour.
Heck no.
Casey Webb is the man doing that then. Man versus Food, New Man, New Food, right there on Travel Channel. Back with Bruce Arians in a moment. Now, I do want to tell you about TrueCar before we take a break right now. TrueCar, over 3 million cars have been sold in TrueCar by to TrueCar users by the TrueCar Certified Dealer Network. And the best part about the TrueCar Certified Dealer Network is not only that you will get to know what other people in your area have paid for the same car that you're looking for, but the car that you're looking for, when you go to TrueCar, when you go to their website, when you use their app, the car that you are looking for has a VIN number. It exists on the lot. So when you show up to your TrueCar certified dealer, they're not like, well, the car that you're looking for, we don't have that. How about something similar? How about something else? And then you feel like you're being taken a little bit, which you will never feel like when you go to a TrueCar certified dealer in their network. Over 15,000 TrueCar certified dealers are nationwide, and TrueCar users save on average over $3,000 off MSRP. So when you're ready to buy a new or used car, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Some features not available in all states. 844-204-RICH, number to dial. Brett Favre still to come. Bruce Arians when we come back. All right, two-time NFL Coach of the Year, Bruce Arians, spending another moment with us here in studio before Brett Favre joins us at the top of hour number 2 after an incredible national championship game. That's what you said to me when we went to break, Bruce.
Yeah.
It's a great game, just
unbelievable. Great for football.
Can you watch a game just like a fan, or you're always watching stuff, XOs and stuff like that?
Yeah, I hate watching on television because I want to run it back. I want the end zone copy. I want to see what really happened on that cover 2 at the end of the game.
Sure. Well, basically, the kid looked off the safety, right? That's
I mean, and there was no receiver going down the middle, it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And he just drifted to the hash instead of to the numbers.
Yeah.
That kid should have been double covered.
The all 22. Now, a couple of quick hitters for you on the Cardinals real fast. True Stanton played with no ACL at all? Is that a true story?
No, Drew had I don't think he even has one in that knee anymore.
That's unbelievable.
And it's just, but he had no pain. He played fantastic. Once he got pain-free, because he hurt it in the Seattle game that Thursday night and finished the game. And once I saw him in practice, mobile, and it was really a deep bone bruise that he really had. And but yeah, I love Drew Stanton. I just wish him all the best.
David Johnson. Is it true you would compare him to? I heard you compare him to Franco Harris. Is that true? Would you compare him to?
I think Tom Moore did.
Okay, Tom Moore did.
Tom coached Franco.
Okay.
And Tom was on our staff, obviously. You know, I had originally cut criticism for comparing him to Marshall Faulk because I had Marshall in Indy.
Mm-hmm.
As a receiver and a runner, the only guy I've ever seen like David is Marshall. But David's a little bit bigger.
He is.
You know, but Marshall was an amazingly bright player to be able to run routes. But David was a wide. I mean, he can play any position on the field.
Yeah, and that's one of Marshall's greatest attributes. Is he knows, including the quarterback and the defensive back, he knows what everybody's job is.
Oh yeah.
That's how he could diagnose it and know where everything is. All right, so now you said you're thinking about becoming part of the media. So let me hit you on a couple of things that you might be asked as an analyst in the National Football League. Do you think Big Ben is coming back?
I do. I think a lot of things have to fall in place for him to come back. If he wins it all, I think he'll try to do it again.
Okay.
I think the coaching staff has a big part of that, if they can keep everybody together.
Okay. And how about this one? What do you think the Cardinals should do at quarterback? How about that one?
Well,
Draft one or go get a free agent?
Look at both. What's the best fit for the entire organization and team?
Mm-hmm.
If there's a guy that, whoever's running the offense now, if there's a guy that fits, whoever it is in free agency, and he's young enough, I'd still draft one.
Do you like Baker Mayfield?
I love his intensity. There's a lot of things I don't like about his intensity I mean, I've gotten to know him a little bit. I want to get to know him a lot better, but I love the energy he brings to the game.
So if you were sitting in a combine room, sitting there right in the middle of the first round as the Arizona Cardinals are, you would be quizzing him about what happened against Kansas? Is that the sort of thing you'd be talking about?
Those things, just the controlling your emotions a little bit better. Can you do that without pulling the reins on him so hard he can't be himself?
Mm-hmm.
That's really tricky.
So who do you think wins Super Bowl 52? Who do you think makes it there? Bruce Arians?
Well, I think you get 3 or 4 of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. All right, and right now it doesn't matter if you're the 6th seed. The home field advantage is almost out the window anymore, except for New England.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Pittsburgh can go up there and win. They're going to have to play really well. But I just think it's going to be a great play. I hope both championship games and the Super Bowl are as good as what we just saw last night.
Right, but you have to choose.
I have to choose right now.
You must choose an
I'm
AFC
go out
versus
on a limb.
NFC.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Atlanta Falcons.
Why do you like them?
Matty Ryan. And just the way their defense plays. They have a complete football team, special teams, everything. And they just went there. So they've got a little bit of that taste in their mouth to let's get this right. And I don't see them. The Rams are really good, and they played fearless and very confident in L.A. So I think that'll.
So you think Atlanta goes through Philadelphia and then who? Do you think it's the Saints or the Vikings this week?
I think it'll be the Vikings, and that's where the old I'm cursed things comes back. To play in your home stadium, to go to the Super Bowl in your home stadium, I think there'll be so much pressure. Not just that game, just the entire week of practice, the 2 weeks leading up to it.
Having the shot to do it.
Oh, my God.
Nobody's ever done that.
Daily.
Nobody's ever had that chance to do that.
And
when I say that, I mean the shot to actually play one game at home, to stay at home.
Yeah,
to be in
I think the Falcons win that game. And
so then they leave all their belongings there for Super Bowl 52 against who? Who do they see?
Pittsburgh. I really believe with Pittsburgh healthy, with all 3 guys. Not having Le'Veon last year really changed that game.
And not having Brown certainly didn't help in Week 15.
Right. And so have everybody healthy.
Okay.
And it'd be a great game with both teams having everybody out there. But I like Pittsburgh's overall football team just a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Steelers versus Falcons.
Falcons.
Don't tell me the Falcons lose one more time.
Nope.
Georgia, do you think they take it
I
home?
think they win.
What do you think of Bruce Arians here, everybody?
Ooh, it's bold.
It's bold.
I like it.
That is bold.
I was a 6th seed that went all the way.
With
Once
the
that
Steelers,
thing starts
right?
rolling,
Yeah.
it's hard to stop it.
Yeah. That was the one that you won in Tampa with Santonio Holmes dotting the I in the back? Or?
No, we beat
one in
Seattle, Detroit.
Detroit.
We were a 6th
That
seed
one,
and
that's
went on the
right.
road, beat Indy when Ben makes that unbelievable tackle
That's right.
on Jerome's fumble.
So he could stroll off in his hometown.
Yeah.
And you were the one who dialed up the Hines Ward to Randall L play?
The
That was
reverse
yours?
pass.
Yeah?
I asked Kenny to call it, and Kenny called it.
Oh, Wizenut you're talking
Wiz
about.
was calling the plays. And I was, hey, it's time for it, man. It's time for it.
Right, yeah.
And he called it.
Okay. Bruce Arians, your foundation, AriansFamilyFoundation.com. Go to that. You've got an event in Chandler, Arizona in the middle of April, correct?
Yes, big golf tournament.
Okay. And it's the Family Foundation motto is a voice for children supporting and developing programs which strives to prevent and ameliorate the abuse and neglect of children. Good on you. Congrats on your retirement. Congrats to your wife on your retirement.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll chat soon.
I'd love to.
If not on the same network, then on a show like this one to promote what you're up to.
Be my favorite thing to do, brother.
You're a good man. At Bruce Arians on Twitter.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.